explored and looted. Once you repair the elevator, you can access the caves, where majestic constructions of a mysterious civilization are waiting for you. Take your time to explore, because this time the caves are massive. As you may remember, we've been developing a climbing mechanic, and now you'll be able to try it out properly. The levels in the new biome are designed vertically, and moving through them will require you to hang on the walls like a certain friendly neighborhood superhero. A new biome, of course, means new enemies, and what would eldritch underground ruins be without skulking lizard people hiding in the shadows? There are two types, the large primal chameleons and their sneaky little cousins, the thieving chameleons. The primal chameleons are of course mighty foes in melee, but they also have cunning ranged attacks and can steal your tools with their tongue. The thieving chameleon is a sneaky little guy. The enemy remains cloaked and hidden, grabbing your hard-mined loot, until it gets scared and tries to run away. But fear not, to overcome all of these obstacles, we provide you with some exciting new tool upgrades. The latest hammer might be the ultimate tool a miner needs. This upgrade makes the game more mobile and dynamic. You can use it to fly around or apply it as an impact missile. The sky is the limit with the new Acme Kiloton. We've also upped the ante by adding exploding bullets to the gun, and we upgraded the dynamite with a sticky bomb feature. The caves are also now full of exploding barrels, so be careful. And lastly, as a quality of life improvement, we've enhanced the telekinetic grab features of the workers' gloves to make looting so much easier. In terms of story, we're finally bringing back one of the greatest features of the first Cave Digger title, the endings. While exploring the caves, you'll find clues to help you unlock them, so stay alert and you'll be able to unlock a new chapter in the story of Cave Digger 2. More endings will be implemented as we get closer to the full release. And in the same vein, a couple of new issues of the comic are also included in this update. But that's not all for nostalgia. Our well-loved chest companion, Chompy, has not abandoned the frontier, and she's looking better than ever. We have further plans for her, but for now she will be providing the player with rewards for any tasks completed. So the next time you visit the frontier, why not pick up an errand or two and greet an old friend? She will certainly reward you well. And those are the highlights for the Escape from the Valley update. We hope you enjoy the new content as much as we do, whether you come from Steam or SideQuest or AppLab. And as always, we enjoy reading your feedback as we work towards full release. The development of Cave Digger 2 is progressing full steam, and it's time to bring you a new content update and new platforms. Hi, I'm Ari-Matti, and I'm here to tell you about our new content update coming up on Steam Early Access. We're calling it Escape from the Valley. With this update, we're also releasing the game on SideQuest and AppLab. Escape from the Valley is a major content update for the game, and I hope you're all excited to see all the new stuff we're bringing out this time. With this new update, a new biome opens up to be explored and looted. Once you repair the elevator, you can access the caves, where majestic constructions of a mysterious civilization are waiting for you. Take your time to explore, because this time the caves are massive. As you may remember, we've been developing a climbing mechanic, and now you'll be able to try it out properly. The levels in the new biome are designed vertically, and moving through them will require you to hang on the walls like a certain friendly neighborhood superhero. A new biome, of course, means new enemies, and what would eldritch underground ruins be without skulking lizard people hiding in the shadows?
And here we are, here we go. The long-awaited reunion with the original designer of Cave Digger 1. I am Kharan, Jaakko Asikainen, the director of Cave Digger 2 and the team lead of Cave Digger 1. And Samuli, would you be so kind to introduce yourself?
Yeah. I'm Samuel Raninen. I did the original design for Cave Digger, and also did the voice for the newscaster.
Yeah, I guess the voice of the newscasters is the primary thing that people recognize you from, because it's such a unique thing in the world of CD1. So I guess let's start with a bit of history. The year was 2018, I think. And how did you get dragged into this project?
I don't really remember the details that exactly, but I think I was talking with Yanni regarding some sort of cooperation from somewhere. And yeah, we talked, gave some kind of pointers about his original concept, and eventually it formed to the point where we decided that I'm gonna do the design for it.
Cool. Was this your first VR game that you were designing? I guess you had plenty of PC game design experience before?
Yeah, most of my experience comes from the board and role-playing game perspective.
Okay.
But we did make a few computer games. Newheim, and I don't remember, but I think we were working on Royal Advisor, so yeah, it's either the first or the second VR project that I've been working on.
Cool. Did you have any experience in Oulu Game Lab? Did you meet other people that way?
Yeah, I think it was from the Oulu Game Lab where we did everything, kind of met everybody. I went there in 2016, if I recall correctly, and we ended up with Happy Hobgoblin as a company as a result of it. We did Newheim there, and after that, as we formed our own company, then we started the cooperation on Cave Digger.
Yeah, I think I personally met basically everybody working on the company through Oulu Game Lab currently. It was a really cool thing back then.
Yeah, indeed.
But yeah, let's... sorry.
Yeah, just was saying that we have scattered to the winds at the moment. Everybody has kind of moved on to different projects. But yeah, it was a very fun, engaging, and educational experience.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of forced you to drop all the romanticism of game dev and actually learn what it's all about. From misery to actual joy.
Yeah, that and a lot of other things have taught me to hate the game industry with extreme passion.
Yeah, I know the feeling from time to time. Let's see if this is my last game ever or not, but we'll see about that.
Yeah, it's just the industry, not the games itself. Making games is fun and important, I feel. It's just how everything is kind of structured and ended up being. But that's politics, and I don't know if we want to go there.
Yeah, let's not go too deep into that area. Somebody in chat was asking, how do you pronounce the name Kharan? Well, like Kharan. H is not for decoration. Well, it's also for that, but you hear it. Kharan. No. Okay, I guess that's enough for the small talk and introduction. We can start digging into Cave Digger 1. Feel free to ask questions of me or Samuli, the newscaster/designer. Let's go.
Nostalgia is hitting so hard right now.
What's that?
Looking at the nostalgia is hitting so hard right now.
Oh,
Looking
yeah.
at all of the assets and everything.
Yeah. So the first Cave Digger that we did, we had only the elevator, I guess. There was no going out the elevator.
Yeah.
Could you talk a bit about the design choices on that?
Yeah. I was kind of thinking about the practical limitations of both VR and our collective resources as the team, and was thinking that I wanted to avoid having teleport movement because I feel like it's a bit of an immersion breaker, and the thumb smooth movement with the thumbsticks wasn't. It's a bit inaccessible for a lot of people because of all of the kind of obvious reasons. So the idea is that if we just kind of have the entire game taking place in this area that is very similar to the size of the actual kind of play area, then you can kind of get maximum immersion out of it, and that's kind of where the premise came from.
Oh yeah.
That it's the elevator is the size of your actual room, and you can just kind of walk around.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we actually had the idea that we would resize the elevator according to your play area, but I'm not sure what happened to that thought.
Yeah, I think it probably was I think it would have been a good idea, and but I feel like it's probably people just kind of collectively wanted a bigger space for everything to happen in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's very nostalgic looking at all of this.
So
Go ahead.
back in the first release, the free version, we had the elevator, and I guess we had only this one biome, this basic cave biome, and we had only the one nuke ending, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact production details, but I think that is correct. There were, I think we did do a lot of kind of additional endings and things after the first release.
Yeah, let's go into the endings in detail soon, after we've done this first run of the stream. Can you talk a bit about the tools, their design?
Well, the obvious thing is the pickaxe, which, is pretty obvious.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember where the idea came from, but the buzzsaw was there to enable this, break rocks kind of more tactically, and the more vulnerable stuff inside them, you can extract it, and it was kind of this more precision tool that you need to actually kind of follow the contours of the wall and so on.
Right.
So that's the. I think the oil came from also the setting, because it is kind of taking inspiration from the robber baron oil magnate times of the United States, so have to have oil in there. Plus, it gave us an opportunity to try out liquid physics and kind of a two-part thing that you need to do. You first need to kind of drill a hole and then kind of take a bucket. And it also kind of enabled you to buy the bucket first, which is then amusing because what are you going to do with the bucket and have the use for it only after you've done it.
I guess that's a good example of the silly, altogether too silly humor of CD1.
Yeah.
Also, if I remember correctly, also the drill had another purpose originally. We used that for drilling holes to plant the dynamite into.
Oh yeah, that was the idea. That the dynamite was. Yeah, they were these. I think they still are the first kind of first tier of explosives. Is just this a tube of dynamite, and you needed to push it into the hole that you do with the drill. Yeah, it also had that dual purpose for it.
Oh yeah. But I think we kind of figure at some point that it would be kind of nice also just to find holes where you can put your dynamite without any drilling.
Yeah, there's one of those examples of practical considerations that maybe it was a bit too slow because the game kind of wants to be this fast-paced and kind of frantic experience. So a lot of the more methodical things like drilling oil and doing accurate demolitions is it's a bit slow for when compared to everything else, and in this game the faster and more frantic the things you are doing, the more fun they are.
Yeah, I think that's one of the fundamental factors that contributed to the eventual success of CD1, that we had this really tight structured gameplay loop. Was it 3 levels and 70 seconds per level? Something like that, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of my goal was to design this as a very kind of tight package, because it didn't have a lot of resources to create this larger experience with a lot of content in it. Everything needed to be very tight and very accessible and kind of fast-paced, and I think that's a very good kind of perspective for it. Also, the game looks good. It's at least from the time, I think it is probably one of the better looking games.
Yeah.
Kind of the art style and the assets and all of the kind of functionality. It looked a lot better than the very kind of blocky and plain early 90s or early 2000s looking 3D that a lot of the starting VR games exhibited.
Yeah, and it's definitely got a distinctive visual style of itself.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the reasons why it also is such a good and, well, a successful game, I believe.
Yeah.
And yeah, Teemuki, I haven't tried Cave Digger 2 yet. I rarely kind of play early access games unless I'm dragged into them. I'm one of the old school people who enjoys game to be ready.
Yeah, I totally get that.
Yeah, actually, I got Hand of Fate 2 when it very quickly after it released. I played it a lot, I enjoyed it, and then they updated the game and added these shards to all of the some of the cards that require you to grind stuff. And I've already done almost everything in the game, so if I wanted to have the extra content, I needed to grind them more effectively. So that's one way of learning, to try to have patience with early access games and just wait until they don't change fundamentally anymore.
Last EA game I played was Everspace 2, really good game in itself, but they kind of dragged the content they had for too long, and then when you got through to that, I really have no desire to go back to that even after they finish the EA.
Yeah, I'd like to try. I like the original Everspace, and the 2 is still on my wish list, but we'll wait until it's finished.
Yeah. It's kind of funny hearing your voice from two sources at the same time.
Yeah, I believe.
So, let's talk about this guy a bit. Where did he come from, and how did you come up with the voice?
Well, I feel like, yeah, the design of the original design brief was that the players kind of explore these caves, and there's something that they will find, and it's this experience of apprehension and kind of discovery. And keeping the kind of practical considerations of the elevator shaft and you mining the walls, which is kind of an absurd premise in it of itself, and I thought that it would be best to lean into the absurdity. And I feel like the old school hands-on method of using a pickaxe and all of these kind of more or less primitive tools to do some mining kind of evoked this wild westerny 1800s feel of everything, and I kind of probably just pretty randomly got the thought of this old-timey radio voice. Actually, I know where it's from. It's from Homestar Runners, the old-timey bits.
Ah.
And the strong bad voice from those. So
Okay.
I think I was kind of taking inspiration from the voice and some of the humor from that there. So it was then of course also an opportunity to expand on the quote-unquote lore of the game, and I was thinking that the game is about kind of grinding and kind of getting money and kind of upgrading your tools and things, but there wasn't really kind of room to have some sort of end game for it, because it would have probably required something else than just kind of sitting in the elevator all the time. And that's when we kind of I was thinking that, okay, if we can't kind of make any sort of kind of game mechanical end, like for example in Factory or other games where you kind of process stuff and buy resources until you can tackle a very big problem, it needs to be able to surprise the player, and the kind of iterations of grind would be very relevant to be short and kind of doable, so that the game doesn't run out of steam. And that's the kind of reason why it has a lot of different endings that you want to kind of explore. So like after the first 5 minutes, when you know how the game kind of mechanically works, okay, so you just kind of mine these walls and buy stuff, then you're almost immediately kind of given options on kind of discovering things, like you can upgrade this more or less useless thing until and see where it kind of ends up. And the newscaster voice and all of the absurdity is almost like a little tease of what's going to happen. That it's absurd, it's weird, you want to see where the humor goes. And I kind of was thinking that it needs to be very unexpected and surprise the player and take them into what in the world is this kind of direction.
So yeah, subverting the player's expectations was kind of one of the design pillars of CD1, and as well CD2 as well.
Yeah. So that's the kind of intent behind all of the different endings. I didn't intend to be Cave Digger to be a particularly long game, like probably in 2 to 3 hours you can get all of the things if you know what you're doing, but having all of that time be quality and interesting and hopefully memorable.
By the way, we just found the Atari PT cartridge. You would see it better, but Oculus actually forced us to blur the front cover of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, one of the other, I guess not design pillars, but features of CD1 and CD2 are all the popular references. Where did that come from?
Well, actually, probably not too much from me. I tried not to have too much referential things in it, like.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you remember this movie from this time that would kind of date the game?
Oh yeah, I remember actually we had this disagreement on the actual Chaos Club. Because
yes,
you were saying, your argument was that it would tie the game into a specific time frame, because we were doing this game back when the MCU Avengers movies were going on?
Yeah, that's kind of exactly the thought. I was seeing so much of the Chaos Club and Marvel stuff there, and kind of knew that it would pass in a few years, and then it would feel very quaint and a bit kind of cringe-worthy when people kind of remember the eagerness with which people kind of were talking about this very commercial, soulless Disney project.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of mine, kind of the humor I attempted to inject to it is kind of more like vague feelings and subtle themes that hopefully are, hopefully in some cases, hopefully not in other cases, relevant in the long future to come. Yeah, one additional kind of point about the newscaster also was that if you kind of play this by yourself, the experience is kind of very straightforward. So it's a voice to kind of have almost like an illusion of an NPC there, and something that you can kind of focus your attention on when you are not doing the actual gameplay.
Right. Yeah.
And also kind of a bit like pacing. You're doing the stuff in kind of very fast pace, digging there for a few minutes, and then when you come back out, you can just kind of relax, look around, check how much money you have, and listen to the newscasters' hopefully funny descriptions of stuff.
Oh yeah.
and then it gets this well, improves the pacing hopefully.
Yeah, it totally sets the mood of the Weird West setting that we were trying to do.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many voice lines were there for the newscaster? I would say maybe like 40, 50, something like that. Or was there more?
Absolutely no recollection, but
Yeah.
I think one for each tool, something like 5 to 10 for just the player returning from one run, and then about one for each ending bit.
Yeah.
And no, I haven't actually seen the Cave Digger 2 gameplay too much. I've just kind of watched a few of the videos from the Steam storefront, and just kind of thought that okay, that looks cool. I'll buy it after it's
Yeah, will be
exited.
interesting to hear your comments when we go to switch to Cave Digger 2, but let's not go there yet.
Yeah.
I was just interested about the voice line numbers because we just ordered the third batch of Clayton lines, and that makes it about 250 lines so far. So we in CD2 we totally really expanded the element of having a disembodied voice in your head.
Yeah.
But let's go.
Yeah, that's cool. That's I do kind of recall thinking when the first kind of playthrough videos came that I think it might just be the necessity of the format, but a lot of the kind of YouTubers and reviewers didn't listen to them. But it's probably just because of the their video pacing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Reasons. So if it's a kind of a multiplayer game, I think in multiplayer games, if you have dialogue or voice lines, they need to be very snappy and short to not cause the multiplayer experience to stall. You can kind of imagine playing some sort of a bit more plot heavy. Well, actually, it's the same experience as in Divinity 2 Original Sin, which I played with a couple of friends, and when one character was just doing dialogue with others, it was everyone else got impatient and left, and then you're doing dialogue related to your character, and then somebody says, "Oh, I ran into a monster, can somebody please come and help me?" And then you're kind of thinking, "Oh Jesus, I'm the group's healer, so I need to leave." So yeah, it's hopefully it works.
It really does. So, ready to do the first ending? Could you do some background for why our first ending was blowing up the world?
Well, it just kind of it was a progression of the explosives. Okay, so you get kind of the expectation of a typical this sort of game. Like you buy the first weak explosives, and then you can upgrade into the more easy to handle or more powerful version, and then the third version, and then there's the fourth version, which is a nuke, which then you kind of leave the dimension of gameplay and go into, okay, what's this? Why could I buy it? And that's kind of the first ending. And then it was just kind of thinking, where can you place the nukes? How can you kind of explore the things with your nuke?
Okay, but let's see the first one here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm sick of this world. Here we go. Oh, that's funny. The train is also flipping out there. So this is kind of dark, blowing up the world just for the fuck of it, just for the hell of it.
Yeah, it's the what did you expect aspect of you have a nuke, you have the detonator. If you push the detonator, what do you do, kind of what did you expect will happen?
Well, this is what happens. You see lots of giant diamonds and the credits of Game Company. So if you're thinking about doing that in real life, remember that.
Yeah, I was actually kind of the original ideas were that the game just ends in the different endings, and there's another way to access the actual kind of credits, because I feel like the credit screen coming after every one of the endings is a bit kind of it kills the pacing, and kind of it's like it almost feels like a commercial break.
Yeah.
In this, you have a tense or interesting or funny moment when you're looking at watching a movie or TV show or whatever, and then the kind of lights go up, the volume mixing goes up, and you're kind of taken out of the experience. So I was a bit against that, and just kind of thinking that there should be the credits should be stored somewhere where they're kind of more or less easily accessible, and the actual endings will then kind of speak for themselves.
Yeah. So that was about it for the first release of KVDK. So we had the elevator and we had the first nuke ending. Then we released this as a free, basically a demo, free game on Steam. Got a couple of downloads and lots of good feedback, and we started working on the KVDK Riches DLC. Do you remember how that went about?
Yeah, I think we just kind of expanded upon the all of the endings, and was it the start of the trains and the outside world?
Not just yet. We weren't quite there yet. The DLC added the many of the other endings, like the alternate nuke endings, and it added a couple new biomes, like the lava biome we saw earlier.
Yeah, right.
And of course the Chaos Cloud, and the ending related to that.
Yeah.
So I think we did that in about 7-8 months at most, and we released it on Steam on August 2018, I believe.
Yeah, well, I just did the design and voice acting, so my mind was in the project of our company, so can't say anything more substantial with that.
Yeah, I think the reason that we first went into the alternate nuke endings was because we weren't quite sure how much resources and time we had at hand for this.
Yeah.
And those were kind of maybe wrong to say, but low-hanging fruits.
Yeah, and it's the nuke does kind of when the player buys the nuke and kind of thinks about what they're going to be doing with it, and kind of exploring different options. I think that kind of I at least wanted to reward players for being and feeling clever. Like, okay, if I explode the nuke here, what happens? But what if I go down and leave the nuke kind of in the saloon and then blow it up? What happens? Or if I toss the nuke down and then explode it, what will happen then? And I wanted to reward the players for kind of cleverness and also kind of teach them that you need to be able to think laterally.
Right. Let's go for those alternate endings for a bit. Also, if there's somebody listening who knows and remembers the cheat codes for spawning keys, give me a holler. Would be nice to demonstrate that ending.
Just to help.
I really love this soundtrack by Eetu Mikkola of the original Cave Digger 1.
Yeah, it's very moody and atmospheric.
Yeah. Okay, that's the fourth, or actually, yeah, that's the fourth Chaos Camp. We're gonna see that ending in a bit as well. Does the chat know the cheat codes? I mean, I remember how to enable them, but how to spawn the keys?
There's a cheat menu, but nobody remembers how to access it.
Somebody call Justus on the bad phone.
Yeah, it's... There was a comment that time to call Justus.
Right. Well, I guess we can do the Chaos Club ending and one of the nuke endings.
Yeah.
So as a designer, what are you most proud of your designing in CD1?
Probably the compactness of everything. That it's the compactness and the feel that it's kind of very complete as an experience. That it doesn't try to be anything else but what it is.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. And maybe something that we slightly went off the tracks, pun intended, in the train update, but let's talk about that in a bit. Now let's blow up ourselves again.
Yeah, the chat is asking about the idea of the upgraded tools, and I think that's kind of a very obvious thing that came up when you have the concept of digging for money, and the question is, what are you going to spend the money on? And the easy answer is on updates.
So we just dropped the nuke into the elevator chasm, and off we go! To infinity and beyond!
I can actually see the explosion there. Cool.
Oh, yeah. So this is the one of the 4 alternate nuke endings. Let's hear what the newscaster had to say. This is one of my most favorite endings in CD1. If not the favorite.
Yeah, I was just about to say that hopefully Warner Brothers isn't listening.
Yeah, it's really surprising how many pitfalls, copyright infringes we avoided just by accident.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. For the uninitiated, the commentary there was the lyrics of David Bowie's the Spaceman song.
Yeah, you really captured the melancholic feeling of that song.
Yeah.
In that line.
Yeah. I think it was a bit of a touch and go when kind of thinking about how to write this and pronounce it. Yeah, Space Oddity, so that it won't get anyone into trouble. And it's also kind of one of the maybe acceptable references, because David Bowie seems to be a cultural landscape and a very respected song.
Yeah, Teemu, I don't know how to shoot this damn projectile. This just happens by accident. Don't blame me, I just work here. How did it work? Like, you had to keep your heads, keep your hands, and aim at the same time? Right. I think this is one of the more esoteric powers in the Chaos Club. Okay, cool.
That sounds that
Okay.
looks very weird.
Yeah. Let's step outside the elevator a bit, if we dare, and talk about the expansion. So, the obvious way to introduce more content to the richest DLC was to allow the player to walk from the elevator and have this western town built around the saloon. And at this point, I think the design responsibilities were getting a bit shared, shall we say. And I was taking a bit more of the design responsibility in this into the Depths train update. Do you remember? What do you remember from this time? Like, were you certain that that was it for Cave Digger and we would see no more?
I remember kind of I remember thinking that it's that it would be a kind of a weird expansion, because it does indeed kind of introduce almost like an entirely new game.
Yeah, it's an inside joke, mostly by me, that Cave Digger 2 is actually Cave Digger 3 because of this Into the Depths update.
Yeah, indeed. But I do kind of understand why it was made like this, because well, if the game was very kind of known and people played it, then why not kind of hit it where strike while the iron is hot, so to say.
Yeah. And basically, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that it would probably be better to kind of package as an entirely different game, because either the standard Cave Digger experiences feels like a weird old vestige of this more kind of impressive larger experience, or
well, I wouldn't call it impressive, but I guess one of the reasons we did it was because some people were really averse to the timed gameplay. They didn't like the feeling of rush we had we had in the original
Yes.
original release. So that was the reason we introduced this like free roam exploration mode. I mean, it's still fairly structured. You proceed from biome and biome, and there's places where you mine, but you're not on a time limit, and I think that was the main reason.
That's a good point, and it's I probably would have tried to do it. I probably would have preferred to just have a mode where it removes the time limit and allows the players to proceed at their own pace, because the time limit is mostly just kind of arbitrary. It's just there to create the kind of tension. But yeah, if it worked, it worked.
Also, one of the other reasons was that Oculus drove a truckload of cash at our door and told us to port the game for Oculus Quest. Well, that kind of allowed us to create more content while we were at it.
Well, that makes sense. When you're given a truckload of cash, you don't say no.
Right. Our artistic integrity flew out of the window right that moment.
Yeah, well, that's just life.
Yeah. So, do you remember playing this train update or seeing any content on that?
I remember trying it out at the office a few times. I don't recall if I have played it. I think it's kind of been hanging around in my to-do list for a long while, but probably should try it out at some point. There have been other VR games like Compound and Into the Radius and
Oh yeah.
kind of others like that, which have taken all my VR's time, and now No Man's Sky.
Oh cool. I should totally try Into the Radius.
Yeah, it's you need to be able to get into the mindset that okay, this isn't interested in feeling finished. So
Right.
highly appropriately, I would say that drink a half a bottle of vodka and then play it, because then it's probably you can get it in the mood.
Well, I guess that makes any game better.
Yes.
We were actually talking about porting Into the Radius for a different platform, but it turned out they use Unreal Engine.
Right.
So yeah.
To answer the chat at this point, yeah, I got a recent job offer for a game design task for a kind of a miniature game in this French game company, but can't really say anything else about that at the moment.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
Yeah, I have one board game that I have kind of developed very far. It's probably I should bite the bullet and start thinking about publishing it, finding publishers and things. And I have a couple of kind of smaller game ideas, or kind of secondary game ideas spinning in my head. But most of my time goes into the thing that gives me money and the Galactic Democracy, which has a tabletop simulator mod. If some people are interested in this weird game about interstellar politics, to just answer the chat.
Oh, it's a tabletop game?
Yeah, it's a board game.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on at the moment.
Cool. Keep him busy.
Yes. Also have some kind of other things like being the chairperson of trio, a game game club here. We have a role-playing related project, and I'm actually going to be talking about board game design in Ropecon, alongside with Olada Shvatili.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yes.
It's in summer?
Yeah, the last week of next month.
Cool.
But yeah, probably back to Cave Digger.
Yeah. So, one of the last major additions that we did to Cave Digger 1 was that guy, Chompy. There's been lots of talk during Cave Digger 2 whether we should include this poor bastard or not. I mean, we are already including her, but let me just ask you, the designer, what do you think about Chompy, from what you know of her?
Yeah, I think it's a very cool idea. I remember talking about it at some point when it was developed, and or she or they was developed, and I was thinking that I kind of envisioned Chompy to be very scary and alien feeling, like a big this big, if you know the procedurally moving spiders that have the kind of legs animated in a procedural way, and I was thinking of kind of something like that. So it's a kind of an extremely scary looking thing, this spider that follows you around, but it's not an enemy, and it's actually very useful, and yeah. But yeah, it's a very good and kind of nifty idea, and it works in this longer corridor where you need to have some place where you can put the loot.
Yeah, it works when it works, but it's sometimes buggy as fuck or also. Probably because I wrote some of the code.
Yeah, well, it's the charm.
Yeah. Okay. Anything from the chat? Okay, we
Teemuki is just commenting that Jump is judging you. And yeah, I like the kind of feel of Into the Radius, and I actually kind of almost like the cleaning weapons aspect of it. It's kind of it's more of an experience than a kind of a game. And after playing a lot of it, it's kind of when you get through, well, you kind of expend all the experience of it, then it is, you kind of do notice all the things that make it a very tedious game.
Yeah, I should totally try it. Last similar games I played were the Metro games, and those felt really light core compared to the Stalker games, which are one of my all-time favorites. Really waiting forward to Stalker 2.
Yeah. I didn't play that much Stalker because I think I'm not a big modder, so or mod enthusiast, so I wasn't about to mod the game a lot, and the base game was so kind of janky that I couldn't tolerate it.
Okay.
But Into Radius, it's probably because everything is in VR, so you don't have weird like million buttons and different attributes and things. So it's a lot more kind of mentally manageable.
Right. But I just noticed that we had Justus in the chat, and he gave me the cheat codes for spawning the keys, so let's do that before going further.
wasn't aware they were cheat codes, but that's pretty cool.
Okay, let's see how this works. Oh yeah, we got keys. Let's see which ones we don't have. That one we had. I really like the design on of these keys.
They look very cool and kind of promising.
Do we have the lava key?
Kind of strange fusion of this
Oh, here we go. Lol.
clockwork aspect and this kind of fantasy design.
We have a fleet of keys.
Yeah, it looks like a space fleet.
Right. Okay, let's go do the vault ending. Then we can have a little break and go into CD2.
Oh yeah, yeah, indeed, Harry Potter.
Which is the key that I'm missing? Huh? Oh, yeah, the LSD one. Or the rainbow. Could you tell us a bit about this ending?
Yeah, there was an idea of having some sort of door, and yeah, it's probably that kind of just very coldly mechanically that there should be these things that you collect from the runs, and you kind of accumulate them. And the idea that there are keys, and there's this door that you see every now and again, and it kind of promises you that there's something very cool behind this. And then this idea that okay, you walk into some sort of treasure chamber or something, and everything kind of is telling that, oh, this is gonna be so amazing, and get the player kind of completely hyped that, oh, what is this? This is something very standard. And I think it was the first time you could actually move from the elevator.
Oh yeah, you're right there.
Yeah, so it's the first time you can move somewhere, and then there's this crate there, and then you kind of there's just one thing, you take it and look like, okay, what's this? And then it's a stand-up.
Oh shit, I have to actually tell a joke.
Yes.
Your mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries. They're not liking my joke.
Yes. It's almost kind of, I was thinking about that, what would make players kind of completely kind of feel anxious, and it's the kind of expectation of I need to do something, I'm on a stage, and then the crowd is going to start kind of booing you. And yeah, it is intentionally extremely bizarre and kind of something completely unexpected that nobody is able to kind of guess what it's going to be. And yeah, I also like it. I think it's very well executed. The music, the lighting effects, everything, and then the lights coming up, and you're on stage, and you can process the thing for a bit, and the mic echo when you say something into the mic of the actual headset. It's a very cool touch.
Yes, definitely one of the top 3 endings in CD1.
Yeah.
Okay, I think it might be time for a little break before we switch over to CD2. So, how about a 3-minute bio break?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll be right back. Stay tuned for these important messages from the MTC.
The development of Cave Digger 2 is progressing full steam. The development of Cave Digger 2 is progressing full steam, and it's time to bring you a new content update and new platforms. Hi, I'm Ari-Matti, and I'm here to tell you about our new content update coming up on Steam Early Access. We're calling it Escape from the Valley. With this update, we're also releasing the game on SideQuest and App Lab. Escape from the Valley is a major content update for the game, and I hope you're all excited to see all the new stuff we're bringing out this time. With this new update, a new biome opens up to be explored and looted. Once you repair the elevator, you can access the caves, where majestic constructions of a mysterious civilization are waiting for you. Take your time to explore, because this time the caves are massive. As you may remember, we've been developing a climbing mechanic, and now you'll be able to try it out properly. The levels in the new biome are designed vertically, and moving through them will require you to hang on the walls like a certain friendly neighborhood superhero. A new biome, of course, means new enemies, and what would eldritch underground ruins be without skulking lizard people hiding in the shadows? There are two types, the large primal chameleons and their sneaky little cousins, the thieving chameleons. The primal chameleons are of course mighty foes in melee, but they also have cunning ranged attacks and can steal your tools with their tongue. The thieving chameleon is a sneaky little guy. The enemy remains cloaked and hidden, grabbing your hard-mined loot, until it gets scared and tries to run away. But fear not, to overcome all of these obstacles, we provide you with some exciting new tool upgrades. The latest hammer might be the ultimate tool a miner needs. This upgrade makes the game more mobile and dynamic. You can use it to fly around or apply it as an impact missile. The sky is the limit with the new Acme Kiloton. We've also upped the ante by adding exploding bullets to the gun, and we upgraded the dynamite with a sticky bomb feature. The caves are also now full of exploding barrels, so be careful. And lastly, as a quality of life improvement, we've enhanced the telekinetic grab features of the workers' gloves to make looting so much easier. In terms of story, we're finally bringing back one of the greatest features of the first Cave Digger title, the endings. While exploring the caves, you'll find clues to help you unlock them, so stay alert and you'll be able to unlock a new...
And we're back after the bio break. This is Kharan / Jaakko Asikainen and Samuli Raninen, the designer of the original Cave Digger 1.
Also Angry Mandalorian in places.
I was gonna say that I didn't remember your nickname. Happy to be
Yes,
corrected.
Or Amando, because it's 17 characters and all of the limitations are always 16.
I'm trying to start Cave Digger 2, but Windows is giving me the option to start Cave Digger 2D. So, what did you think about like this? We had an interim year where we didn't get any kind of like big production going, so we did this flat version of Cave Digger. What did you think about that?
I didn't kind of pay a lot of attention to it. I think I was tangentially aware of it. But yeah, I really have no strong opinions of it. It's if it works on 2D and people like it, then it's a success.
Yeah, I mean it obviously loses a bit of the charm, but yeah, there are people who have come into the franchise because of the flat version.
Yeah, that's extremely good to hear. And to be honest, I do kind of think that the humor and everything that needs to work works on it. That the VR is of course all of the important. It's the impressive thing about it, but all the endings, all the humor and things, they don't really need VR for you to kind of get most of the experience from it.
Right. So, Cave Digger 2, Dig Harder. This is your vision when you start the game. What is your comment, Samuli?
Very reminiscent of the first Cave Digger and looks very functional.
Is the game audio okay, by the way?
I'm not hearing it because I don't want echoes of my own voice.
Okay.
So we'll have to trust the chat on this.
Okay.
Apparently very low.
Very low. Okay, let me turn it up a notch. How about now? So yeah, the first like obvious difference is physicality. So in Cave 1, your hands and your head went through everything, but here they don't. And you can actually lift yourself up by mantling with your hands.
Actual physics. That's very nice.
Action.
I like actual physics games. Own Works was great.
Oh yeah.
I just wished it had an actual game in it. And
Looks like your drill tank caused a cave in. That's no good. But don't
Blade
worry.
and Sorcery
I've
is
dug my way out
excellent.
of holes
It's,
a lot darker than this
I was
one.
thinking of speedrunning
Grab that
it
pickaxe
in
over
the
there.
last
Take it with you.
Vauhtijuoksu, but I couldn't because they didn't have the capability of hosting VR stuff.
Okay, cool.
Maybe I'll consider speedrunning Cave Digger at some point.
That would be cool to see. You should stream it as well.
It's Clayton.
So another big change to Cave Digger 1 is that we have an actual realized tutorial.
So
There's
I'll just tag along with you if you don't mind.
streamer mode is. Somebody is asking if streamer mode is off or the
Now that
scale
shiny thing
is
right there is
weird.
gold.
Ah,
Okay,
let me check. Just a bit.
your backpack. Let's keep going.
Is the ratio funny? I'm not sure. Well, I guess it's better now, right? Okie dokie. So yeah, an actual tutorial which explains you the game in specific parts. And this time we have looting directly to the backpack. So yeah, you just reach back, there's a haptic feedback and you release, and that's done.
Yeah, that's very cool.
And one other big change is that we have these freeform mining areas. Back when we were starting, we were kind of feeling that if we could make everything into breakable areas, but that kind of was limited by the marching cubes technology.
Oh, to answer your comment, Teemuki,
Smack 'em with your pickaxe.
I'm not competing with anyone. I'm
The gems down.
a very non-competitive person, but the newscaster might have some animosity for Clayton.
Yeah, it would be kind of nice to see a rap battle between Clayton and the newscaster.
Yeah, maybe.
And one other thing is, of course, enemies. Did we ever think about adding enemies in Cave Digger 1? I guess it wouldn't fit into the arcade nature, the tight gameplay loop.
Yeah, no, it's kind of an idea that I didn't want the game to feel well, there wasn't space for it. It would have required some more resources and design. And I feel like I wanted the game to be kind of peaceful. There's adding enemies to kind of any game project is very likely the most kind of obvious thing to do. And I was thinking that just having a game where the main loop isn't fighting enemy combatants, but instead doing something else.
There you go. Hard work.
Yeah, I think that was definitely the right call on CD1.
Look at your left glove. You can keep track of your accounts with the dials on it. Why don't you open up the mail order catalog? Maybe you can already buy something. Capitalism.
I really like the idea of having like this physicalized feedback on displaying how much loot you collected on each run. And on CD2 we had. Let me shut up Clayton for a while. It's kind of hard talking while he's talking. Thank you, Clayton. So originally we had the idea of actually reaching out for your backpack and then pulling it out and emptying it in this. Let me put it up sitting mode as well. Emptying it up in this receptacle, but it kind of turned out hard to do with 4 players doing it at the same time, so this was kind of a compromise that you turn this crank and everybody's loot flies out from the backpack into the loot grinder.
Yeah, it looks very kind of fun. It has the VR thing, and I also like the animations. It's kind of almost reminds me of Warcraft.
Oh, cool, yeah. Like this dwarven mechanism.
Yeah.
One of the things that I wasn't really totally happy about in CD1 was the hip slots. So this time we tried out these arm slots.
Yeah, they're probably a better kind of solution for that.
Yeah, I mean we still do have the hip slots, but especially when sitting down, it's really hard to actually use them. So we were thinking about placing another slot here on the upper arm, so you would have 2 slots, easily manageable.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm also gonna say a longer sentence to see if my volume levels are okay.
Okay, let me know if I need to fiddle with something.
Yeah, well, it's up to the stream to comment on that. But yeah, it looks functional. It's, I also kind of like the it kind of reminds me of into the radius with it has like specific slots around.
Right.
So well, strange. I haven't fiddled with my my volume end, so don't know what that is all about.
What is the chat saying to us?
That I'm lower than before, I think.
Okay.
Or they think.
Let me up the max volume and then turn down CD2. How about now? Try speaking.
I'm going to say something for the chat. It's actually funny that since I have the stream muted, I don't actually hear the Clayton's things. But maybe it's good. When I play it, I get the authentic first experience.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I typically don't play VR games sitting down, except games like Elite Dangerous and Star Wars Squadrons, which you kind of sit in a cockpit all the time, and the No Man's Sky, because it doesn't really have any. The VR integration is kind of sitting exactly on the acceptable level, but it could be a lot better. But I can kind of understand why it is what it is. So I understand this is a multiplayer game.
Yeah, that's basically the biggest change from CD1. It's a co-op game with 2 to 4 players playing with you, or 1 to 4 players, I should say.
Yeah.
And obviously we had to have some customization involved. Oh, I think I look good in this. Well.
It would be very funny that if you can kind of grab a headwear, or like you can choose the crown, and then when you use the loot grinder, it's going to eat your crown, give you some money, and you can't wear it anymore because it's gone.
Oh, yeah.
exactly the kind of joke I would probably put into this game.
Yeah, we've been thinking about linking these customizations with the costumes and the actual loot you find. So when you find the Jolly Jumper's horseshoe, it unlocks this costume and stuff like that. But we haven't really got around to that as of yet. But yeah. So this is your base for operations cabin. And then there's the tool shack where you can pick out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tools. You can have 4 for each run.
So does it have a procedural generation thing going on?
In a sense, yeah. So we've got 3 levels as before. And they are generated on the fly out of about 30-40 rooms.
Okay.
And we've got this run generation, kind of like a narrative manager. So sometimes you get like teamed runs. So sometimes there's more enemies, sometimes there's more loot, sometimes there's more industrial rooms there. Kind of like something to make the run stick to your mind a bit more.
Yeah.
And this is the tutorial, so let's go through this quickly. So basically, yeah, everything is mostly destroyable. Oh, that was an enemy. Yeah. And everything is also, well, mostly everything is ignitable. Even the enemies. This was my favorite pet feature.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I've kind of I noticed in a lot of VR games is how the fire works. And I can accept the fire looking like crap because everything looks more or less crap in VR anyways, especially when you compare it to kind of flat games. But I think fire should spread.
Yeah.
Because then it acts like fire, and then you need to kind of think about it like you would fire.
Yeah, you're right there.
So yeah, it's very, very good. I think those sorts of features is what makes a VR game kind of stand out. The kind of attention to detail and improving the immersion aspect of things, like stuff reacting to things like you would expect them to. Because then you kind of you're taken out of the experience if things don't work as you expect.
Yeah, that was one of my main things as the director, just to keep avoiding interaction disappointment. So if the player wanted to try something, do something with the props, use environment dynamics or interoperability, we should let them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a smart move. You can shoot the lights to activate them.
Yeah, you can shoot the revolver to light up the room. The torch, I mean. Then you can also... let me see. There's no wall notes here, but if there... Oh, there's one. So you can extra loot with it as well.
Okay. Alright.
These guys, these plasma shrimps are the first actual enemy that you can find. And as you can see, their projectiles all interact with the environment.
Yeah, that's very cool. So, almost like forces you to be a bit tactical. If there's some objects that you wouldn't want to destroy or get destroyed, you need to kind of be aware of the environment also.
Yeah, and also any dynamic prop that you can find can be used as a melee weapon and can be thrown as well.
Yeah, that's cool. That's something that I like to see. So, reminds me that in at least currently in Blade and Sorcery, the most effective weapon that I have seen is a chair. Because
Really?
it has, yeah, it doesn't have a same sort of kind of grip ability that actual weapons have, but since all the dynamic objects can cause collisions and therefore damage, and the chair has like 4 different legs which all kind of cause collision to happen. So if you kind of push it violently into an enemy, it kind of doesn't take a lot of damage, but it like takes a million different hits from the dynamic object.
Right.
And, does that, so
Kind of a bit like emergent gameplay.
yeah.
Oops. Of course, we had to have dynamites in the sequel as well.
Yeah, well, obviously.
Obviously. Oh yeah. Here's the second of our enemies, the dreaded land nautiloid. Basically stuck on the geometry right now, but I'm sure she'll recover. Basically, these guys are the mimics, so any geode you can find, like one right there, can be a potential land nautilus. Oh, we are having a proper party right now. I think I saw a lizard there as well.
Very kind of roguelike-ish feel.
Yeah. That was one of the things that we leaned on, and basically had lots of arguments on how deep into roguelike we want to be.
Yeah, depends on, of course, on the kind of dynamics of what the game kind of should be. I'd say games like these depend heavily on like what you do. Typically, it's you need to do some sort of build. It's a map.
Yeah, this is the sequel's version of the detector. It's showing you all the enemies and loots, and also pointing you the way to the next level's elevator.
Right. Oh, nice.
Okay, I think we found the mother lode here. Let's get rid of these annoying critters first. Oh, I think... No, I didn't crash. Okay. And you can pick them up on the fly and use them as weapons also. Oh!
Nice.
On the final level, on the third level, we have this thing called set piece rooms, kind of like showpieces, mini bosses, something to punctuate the run. Man, I'm a bad shot today. Or maybe it's not me. Oh well, whatever. Another thing we find in set pieces are these... Oh, nasty sounds there, but I guess it was nothing. Riddles. I'm not sure if you ever played Betrayal at Grondor, but it's my top 2 game of all time.
Yeah, it was my top game for a very long time too.
Yeah. So we, along with the designer Arimatti, wanted to include these riddles. We weren't sure how how old school, whether we were being too old school with this, but so far people have been liking it, and we also allow the players our workaround of blowing up the chest if they're blowing up the safe open if they get pissed off with our riddles. But let's try this, somebody. Can you help me? Diggers, farmers, and decks of cards. What do they all have in common? Any ideas?
Spades.
Ah! Might be, let's see. There's an S, alright. Ah, I think you were on the right track. Spaden. Spades, oh yeah, you got it right. Here we go. So there's a fat load of loot in here. Oops, I just punched my monitor.
Just VR things.
Yeah. I think we are experiencing some bugs, but that's okay because we are on the beta branch, so that saves my ass. Anyway, let me introduce to you one of the more visible new features in CD2. We have an actual graphic novel as telling the background story.
Right.
Let me
so
see.
There's a background story nowadays.
Oh yeah. Welcome to CD2, I guess.
Is Cave Digger 1 canon?
I mean, it's obviously the same Weird West setting, and there are some things that we reference. But there's no direct link from the canon ending of CD1 to the start of CD2. But yeah, it is canon as it stands. I think I actually did something fairly nasty that broke the telekinesis and the enemy AI. Well, let's go back up and see if that fixes it. Okay, so the elevator should be right over here. Oh yeah, you can recognize the elevator from this elevator hallway with these green lights. Ooh, I am idiot.
Yeah, probably a probably a good idea to have some more consistency in the game itself and the kind of narrative, because just kind of doing Cave Digger 1 again is probably not the correct answer, because then it loses its surprise.
You're quite right there. And obviously with the resources we have given for this game, in time and money and excellent people to work with, the bar is really high with this one.
Yeah.
As you can see, we also expanded the top worlds a bit, maybe even a bit too much, because lately we've been struggling that, of course it's nice to wander here, and it's a really atmospheric break of pace from the hectic mining undergrounds, but would be nice to have some actual gameplay in here. So we've been kind of filling that gap up with like quests and encounters and stuff like that. But yeah.
Well, a typical thing that a lot of games do with a safe home base is that towards the end it might not become that safe.
You're on the right track there. So, I kind of wish I would... I'd like to go to the fourth biome, but I think someone from marketing would castrate me for that, because we are kind of keeping it under wraps. So let's go to the third or the second biome so far. So let's go to the corral, I mean the hot springs. man, we have so many working names and non-official names and official names for these biomes and top worlds. It's kind of hard to keep up.
Yeah, it's always a hassle to decide what the terminology for any given thing is, and then you have the old terminology with you, and some terms that you didn't want to use, but they're just kind of stuck now.
Yeah.
So, have to hit yourself with a hammer to stop using the old terms for things.
Yeah.
And then you have to just pray that the other people don't use the old terms for stuff.
Yeah, that's how it goes, totally. So, what else should we talk about with CD2? I guess we can cover the basics so far. But yeah, about the story, I can lay out the basics of the structure. It's very much connected to the character of Clayton. Clayton Lee Jones III, the guy who's talking in your head. And he is your predecessor in this valley, and you're kind of discovering both the mystery of the valley and mystery of what happened to Clayton at the same time. By both proceeding through the game and listening to Clayton's comments, and also finding the comic pages and revealing more of the story that way.
Alright.
We've already got 4 of the 5 comics in the game, and our comic book artist Jussi Pylkäs is currently drawing the final issue, and I wish I could talk about that, but it would blow your mind.
Yeah, I immediately recognized Jussi's style from the page that you were fumbling with.
Oh yeah. I think he did something for Happy Hobgoblin as well. Or did you meet him in Old Game Lab?
Yeah, we were in the old game lab at the same time, and I think he did, but I don't recall what the thing was anymore. Maybe some kind of visual design, but yeah. I think it was some visual design for Isolation.
Oh yeah. The fuck? Oh yeah. We totally reworked that yellow shrimp, and that was my first time meeting that guy. So they fly to you and attach into your flesh. Kind of nasty critters.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I actually haven't seen that in a VR game where just things kind of attach to your kind of character model. That's a cool thing.
Man, there's lots of things going on. I think I'm about to die. Well, I still got 2 health.
I'm kind of curious on what happens if you do doi.
Can you take a guess?
You're probably bolted out back to the base.
Yeah, that's basically it, and you lose half your collected loot. So basically there's an indicator for health over there. Oh, shit. I thought I was being... What the hell is going on here? Well, that's emergent dynamic gameplay, I guess. Well, yeah. There's a loot meter here, I mean backpack meter and a health meter there. So if your backpack becomes full, you can still pick stuff up. It doesn't end your run there, but it filters out the less valuable loot.
Alright.
And yeah, if you die, you get booted out unless you're playing multiplayer, in which case somebody has to revive you, like a bit like Vermintide Left 4 Dead mechanic.
Yes. So, do you have a writer for this project?
Yes, it's me, and also Arimatti.
Right.
We wrote the... well, Arimatti wrote most of the Clayton voice lines, but together we wrote the actual backstory, the comic.
All right.
And of course, when you actually write a comic that's been drawn by such an excellent artist as Jussi, you want to print it as a physical copy, and that's what we did.
All right.
Naturally.
Do you have the plot already written down of the game?
Yeah. We are currently implementing the fourth ending, which is the final ending with Clayton.
All right.
It's gonna blow your mind, literally.
All right. Well, when it's booted out of early access, I'm going to definitely play it.
Yeah, good to hear. I think we might do this run to the end. There's some things I still want to show you, if you're okay with you.
Yeah. I can do that.
Excellent. Are we going the right way? Whoa. Man, I'm being paranoid here.
That's what being on 2 hit points does to you.
Right. Oop. Okay, I think we are getting close. Let me just blow up this wall. I think we still have the actual bug in the live version that the explosives should be limited to 5 uses, but they're not. And I mean, it's just such a fun bug that we haven't gotten around to fixing it. And maybe won't.
Maybe you should just kind of acknowledge it somehow. A little wink that, well, the next, when you empty your explosive stack, you get a little message like, okay, the next one is on the house, and then you can just
Yeah. We are we are breaking the fourth wall in many places, so it wouldn't be the first time. Okay, let's go this way.
Maybe you should have a message from the explosives salesperson who implores you to limit your exploiting the free on the house dynamite because they're breaking their business.
You're kind of on the right track. We are missing an actual voice actor for the MTC, the company that's running things down here. And I can't see where this is going. Oh, fuck. Panic.
I have no idea what causes this panic, but it's a big thing.
Whoa.
Oh no.
Let's avoid the vomit. Okay, I'm gonna see this go. Ah! Jesus, that's nasty. Well, that's part of the immersion, I guess.
That looked very impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's freaking cool. The things coming to bite you. It's it also looks very funny. Does it do the
Well, we currently don't have the voice, but actually your old mate Antti Saarilampi is doing the next batch of sound effects.
Oh, nice.
He just started about a couple days ago.
Yeah, sounds good.
I think he edited your lines in CD1.
Yeah, and recorded them also. We had fun in his band studio.
Oh, fuck. Here. Have a dynamite.
There's two of them.
I think I crashed the game.
Oh no,
Oh no! Yeah, it looks that way. Well,
dynamite was too much.
yeah, I actually upgraded dynamite. It was causing small lags before, but now that I went level 2, it crashed the game. Oh well, that serves me right for playing the beta, I guess. Whew. Ah, man, it's hot in here also. Gaboomski, yeah. No! KVDK2.exe got... Well, are we back? Oh shit, that was a lag of about 20 seconds, but we're back in the game. I was about to call it quits already, but I guess we are proceeding.
The game was more resilient than you thought.
More resilient than I. Oh, that was nastily hidden over there. Oh, come on, not again. Yeah, I think there's something we need to do with these explosions. So let's stick to the pickaxe for now. I think there's something else going wrong here. Yeah. Yeah, I got stuck using the pickaxe. Looks like this will be it for now, I guess. On the gameplay side. So
Surprises for me, or more content for the next stream.
yeah, let's not spoil everything for you. I bet.
That's a lot of bad guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think I kinda died here. Yeah. I is dead. Okay, so any thoughts, like, on top of your mind on what you saw?
Looks cool. It's fun that it's a multiplayer game. And yeah, I do think that having a kind of a storyline is the correct way to proceed.
Yeah.
I do kind of. Well, it's of course just my kind of uneducated dumb opinion, but I think Cave Digger's brand kind of would be, at least for me, the weird setting and surprises and the kind of unexpectedness of stuff.
Yeah. I wasn't able to spoil any endings for you, or I didn't even want to, but yeah, we got lots of surprises coming. And we should totally do a co-op stream when we launch.
Yeah, that would be very interesting. Can see how it works on the old index.
Oh yeah, should work. We got one in our office as well. But yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks everybody, and especially thanks to Samuli for joining me on this Cave Digger 1, Cave Digger 2 extravaganza. It was really great having you.
Yeah, it was fun reminiscing about the olden days and seeing where the things have developed.
Yeah.
Alright, then we'll.
Alright.
Thanks for having me.
Yep, thanks everybody, and see you. Keep on digging, guys.